Hey guys, Fryedegg here at Sweaty Pixels. We're doing our last addendum to the Nightmare 5 Sculling / High Scoring guide. We're doing Stairs of Doom. And I did a little bit of a twist on this stage. I went with no barricades, and also I'm bringing along a DLC trap. Or not even trap, I should say. But the mana well. That came with Lost Adventures, I believe. Yeah, this was the very last trap that you received, and I do pretty well with it. I get a score that would have placed me somewhere in the low, like the top 20 somewhere. But anyways, the idea what I'm trying to do with this setup is I'm going to try to have this right side eventually be very much self-sustaining and hands-off, where I can kind of just focus on this side. But this first round or two is you got to be careful. You're gonna have to use some logs here, unless you're really good about multitasking and being in two places at once. But don't be ashamed about using some logs. You know, they're there, so use them. You know, you're not gonna hurt your scores too bad. So yeah, we're gonna do the same basic ground setup on both sides, but we're just that the right side we're gonna try and get our maces going a little faster on that side. Just trying to get 3 maces so we can kind of say, all right, the right side's gonna take care of itself, so we can focus on the left side. You know, just because this stage it's very fast paced. You know, with the 2 lanes, and you get lots of guys each wave. So here we're gonna just we're just, you know, I kind of have an idea what I'm doing here with the method of how I'm putting stuff up, but mostly I'm just trying to keep them a little bit somewhat quasi even at first. But once I have my first big bump of money, I believe I'm gonna throw 3 maces on this side to really bolster that right side. Yeah, and always be mindful of your mini map, guys, on this stage. Make sure you don't see those red dots behind you. As you can see here, we're in round 3, and I just used the log to buy me some time so I can come over here and focus. And the reason I'm bringing the mana wells, I know I touched on the fact that I was bringing it. My thought process was so I can constantly be casting my lightning cloud on either side. Here we're going to add 3 maces. We're going to do a triple tap. Watch this. They got 3 maces. They're all swinging at the exact same time, which is what's gonna basically equate to complete ogre destruction, which is awesome. Then we're gonna put down some scorchers. As you can see, I put the spring traps only on that side right now because I want to, like I said, now that I have those maces up especially, I want to be able to stay over here on the left and kind of just know in the back of my mind that, all right, the right side, 3 maces, spring traps, it's gonna take care of itself. So we can come over here and focus on trying to combo some orcs. Just got overcold springs because in round 5 you're gonna get, I believe, 4 ogres. So important to get that overcold springs and have spring traps when round 5 starts. So I'm just trying to be a little preemptive rather. So yeah, as you can see, that right side, I'm not looking over there and everything's dying, which is exactly what I want. So now we have spring traps on both sides. I'm going to start adding some floor scorchers, I think. Possibly. Yeah, scorchers. And the scorchers, as you can see, they have a 2-tile range. So when stuff hits that tar, they're still going to shoot off. So they're not a wasted trap at all back there. They're still very effective. So I came up with this just kind of shot off my hip, but the thought behind it was inspired by my friend Nanania. She's constantly trying to, you know, push the boundaries for, you know, kill boxes and loadouts that are a bit off the norm or off the beaten path, which doesn't really make sense here, but you know, just something out of the ordinary, you know, something that someone hasn't seen yet. So these are a lot of the traps that I use a lot that I'm familiar with, but on this stage I usually do go barricades, and I've the score I have right now, my current high score on this stage, I did with barricades, but this was by far much easier. and I was able to net a score nearly as high. So I'm a lot more happy with this, to be totally honest. And I'm sure with some better time and trap management, I think that anyone could come in here and probably outperform my score a little bit better with this same strat. I'm gonna pick up all this money. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some archer defense. This is the last line of defense, but your archers are still gonna be able to shoot the entire kill box, even from behind those spring traps. So, you know, that may be overkill. I really don't think it is, but it's just the way we're doing this, where I'm really trying to just focus on one side. Knowing those last 3 spring traps are there really makes it so you have no worries about anything getting past your archers. You know, and once we have everything going, which we're in round 7, I think, like and by end of this round, we're gonna have 3 maces over here. You're gonna do another triple tap. You know, those I explained a little more in arena. My arena video, the maces swinging in unison like that. When something is in between those tiles and in between 2 maces, they just get crushed. Like, you know, they're getting hit by 2 maces at the same time. So they just, ogres and everything else, anything for that matter, just takes tons of damage. And it's a really good way to help kill things quickly, which you really always want to do. So that's something else that Roguton and Doc kind of taught me, and I've been using that a lot, and I find that it's definitely helped my scores improve. Just adding some grinders. I'm going to add the first 2 or first mana well, and you'll see that work here. I'm going to be able to get my lightning down and immediately run over there and get my lightning down. So I find that this is also this was a big part of my scores doing well on this stage, was because I was able to always have this lightning up on either side. And even so, on that right side right there, I'm not there right now to help add my crossbow combo point, but at least I have the lightning there adding an extra combo point. So there's a ×8 on a null hunter. That's good. But so I mean, realistically, I'm not seeing over there, but I'm sure there's plenty of 5, 6s, and even ×7s happening, completely automated without my presence being there. As long as I get the lightning cloud down on that side, you know, I'm gonna drop some more archers over here. It's okay to do. I find it's okay to kind of do archer overload on this stage, just because there's so many enemies, and especially the way I'm doing it with the kind of the hands-off kill box on one side. So I find having the extra, you know, the extra support from the archers is definitely needed, and this worked. I'm really happy with the way it came out. I was able to. I think this was I thought about it, and this was my first attempt. So I only tried it once, and I was able to produce a very good score. So I'd recommend this to anyone who either wants to get a good score, or even if you just want to 5-skull it fairly easy. I would recommend this. I think this is kind of foolproof. I'm a fan of this. I think there's a couple more stages where the mana well may be utilized to bolster scores. It's kind of one of those catch-22s, you know. By bringing the mana well along, that's one less trap you can bring, but at the same time having that extra mana to constantly keep a lightning cloud up in 1 or 2 places, I think is huge. So let's just you gotta do a lot of running back and forth in this stage, as you can see. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on real quick, is this right here. Make sure you're very careful when you do that, because if you're doing a good and around, and all of a sudden you mistime your jump and then you fall down, just had a ×9 on a null, which is good. This didn't. I don't remember getting any 10x's, but which you probably only get in an ogre or null anyways. But this still, I was able to get, you know, some 7s, 8s, and 9s, which I'm happy with, and by being able to kind of focus on one side, you know, I was able to get a lot of decent combos on orcs, which I otherwise wouldn't have been able to, since if I was kind of too spread thin. and I didn't have the lightning up on both sides. But anyways, there's the score, 397. Go to the stats so you guys can see where it landed, would have landed. I go to the filter so you guys can see. I believe it would have landed. That score would have landed me like 20 something, like 21, 22, somewhere around there. I'm gonna scroll down so you can see. But I was pretty happy with that. You know, I still have some of my friends. They, my buddy Busia still has a better score than me on this map. You know, even he stopped playing. Oh.